Happy Friday, Crusaders. Mr. Maesano here. As you know, we've been going into classrooms discussing the Monroe-Woodbury Middle School expectations. What do we expect from our school community, members of our school community, inside the building, outside the building in some cases? How do we carry ourselves in a way that promotes our well-being and success? And so this video is being compiled here so that anybody who missed the classroom presentations, as well as the families, can see what's being conveyed to their children. It's important for us all to be on the same page so that we know what the expectations are. And it's a good time here. We're at the beginning of, starting on Monday, the beginning of the final marking period of the school year. We've been through a lot. It's been a fantastic school year getting everybody back in, and we've made adjustments, and we've been working on making sure that the communication is clear and everybody's understanding of what is expected of them. And that goes to the two themes of being safe and respectful. We are students first. When we come to Monroe-Woodbury Middle School as an adolescent, we are here as a student first. You might be an athlete, you might be a musician, you might be an artist. There's all kinds of things that you might identify as. However, the primary job here is to be a student, to take your academics seriously. So that's an important reminder as we think about our final marking period, finishing strong, making sure our work is being completed and we're paying attention to our studies. Well, as we do that, the two themes of our expectations, students and staff, we need to be safe and we need to be respectful at all times. And talking about safety, we're going to read this vision statement twice. It's just important to hear what everybody's hearing. This is what we're committed to. We are committed to providing a safe learning environment in which all students and staff feel respected. So first time reading through this, we see that safe is the highlighted word. We're going to talk about some things under safety. First, we're talking about hoods and hats, head coverings of any kind. It's a safety issue. Sometimes kids ask, well, why? Why is that a safety issue? Well, it's a safety issue because we want to be able to quickly identify people as accurately as possible to ensure the safety of our building, that people are where they're supposed to be and who they are supposed to be as far as being authorized to be in the building. And our camera system also, obviously a lot of our perspective is from the ceiling down. So we don't want any obstruction to people's faces in figuring out what's going on in different situations. So we do ask that hats and hoods are removed while in the building, unless for religious purposes and some very few medical situations. There are very few exceptions to this. But otherwise, students are expected to be free of hats and hoods while in the building. They're outside, that's one thing, that's fine. But inside the building, they should be off. Secondly, masks. Well, this has changed over the course of the year, and now we have a choice. And I see people throughout the building wearing masks. I see people not wearing masks. Both things make me very happy because it shows me that you feel safe making a decision, which is a personal decision about you and your family's safety and well-being. Whether it is to wear a mask or not wear a mask, what we ask is kind of going over to the respect side is that we respect each other's choices in making that decision. Wearing an ID. Well, we talked about how wearing IDs was really stressed last year as we checked people in. It was stressed at the beginning of this year, and students have really not been compliant with wearing IDs. And so I shared with them, this is something I'm not just pushing on students. I am a very big believer that it's important to be able to quickly identify somebody as being an authorized person in the building. So all the staff members are required to wear IDs that show their name, that show that they've got the purple there, they're a staff member. And it's really important that our students are also doing that because we need to know who our students are. And I want students addressed by name, and I want students to be recognized as a student in the building and making sure that they're where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. So we asked for some feedback about why this has been a problem, what obstacles are in the way for students wearing their IDs. A couple of things that were brought up is that it's uncomfortable wearing it around the neck. I totally can understand that. Some things brought up were also about the picture being embarrassing, and my picture is pretty embarrassing. Look very different than I did when this picture was taken. So, God, who is that guy? I can get that. I can understand that. What we did talk about was the picture for us. A lot of our students, especially new students, actually don't even have a picture. And it might sound kind of funny, but that's not really the priority. On the student ID, we like to see the house color right on the top. It makes it very quickly and easily accessible to know if the student is where they should be at a certain point in the school day, that they're not wandering the halls, and that they're in the proper area of the building. It also gives us the name and grade level, which is so important in being able to have conversations with people, what's going on, and quickly identify, obviously, that they are students in the building. So having that visible for us is the primary objective. It really doesn't matter to us if it's worn around the neck in a lanyard style, or if it's hanging out of a pocket clipped to something, hanging on a backpack, all of those things. And if a picture is covered up with an appropriate sticker or something like that, that is all right with us as well. The main objective here is to make sure that students are wearing their IDs so that we can quickly and accurately ensure that everybody who is in the building is supposed to be in the building. For those of you parents out there who have recently visited the school, you know that there's a new sign-in procedure in place. And this is all about making sure that our school is as tightly secured as possible during the school day so that our students are as safe as possible. So we're asking that students on Monday help in making a much more concerted effort in wearing your IDs during the day. The bus. We talk about how serious a distracted bus driver situation can be, because on our roads today, we have a lot of distracted driving. We have a lot of people on the road, and bus situations can get, and God forbid, a bus accident could be a very, very serious thing. So what we're asking our students is to check themselves when they're on the bus. I know they want to talk to their friends, and they're excited to see people they haven't seen all day. And that's great. I want them to enjoy the bus ride home and the bus ride to school. However, I also need people obviously sitting in their seats, not getting up, not getting too loud, not blocking the aisles, making sure that we're doing what we need to do to be safe on our bus ride to and from school. We also talked about hands off in the middle school. It's very common for middle school age students to joke around with a friend by grabbing, pushing, shoving, even sometimes hitting in a friendly way. And when it's not perceived as being friendly, things can escalate real quick and turn into a fight. So the bottom line is, keeping your hands to yourself is the easiest way to ensure that there will be no issues when it comes to physical altercations or things of that nature. Be where you're supposed to be. If you're not in the class that you are assigned to for that period, if you have a study hall and need to go visit a teacher, or you're in lunch and you want to go to the library, the number one thing you need is a pass that authorizes you to be there, so we can keep track of everybody and where they are throughout the school day. And it's I said to the students, for those of you families who are watching, it would be really embarrassing if a family member, a loved one of yours, calls up and says, "Mr. Maesano, I need to talk to my child," and I can't find you. That's pretty embarrassing. We need to make sure we know where you are and that you're accounted for and supervised at all points during the school day. And that's about the safety of our students. And lastly, I spoke about drugs to the students, because this generation is being targeted like no other generation has ever been targeted. We have vaping devices that are coming in flavors that are fruity and candy, and we have edibles that are being infused with chemicals, substances that in some cases we can't even identify, but that are taking the shape and form and advertising and packaging of candy. And that's particularly disturbing to me as a father and as a principal, because they are flat out targeting our youth. And as parents, we need to be aware of that. We need to be cognizant and on the lookout for signs and at the things that our kids are bringing home, bringing to school, because it's out there. It's more accessible than it's ever been. And it's definitely a high priority for me in making sure that we're doing our best to protect our students and keep them safe. There was recently an alert set out to the entire county that they've been seeing an increase in overdoses in adolescents because of edibles and vape cartridges containing suspectedly THC in very high concentrations, and possibly other chemicals, which is as scary as it gets. So please keep an eye out, have the conversations with your children. This is something that, again, as a parent, as well as a school administrator, we are very concerned about. It's a disturbing trend, and students are being exposed to it more and more. So we're doing what we can on our end to track things down, to stop people from using it, to educate our students, to be aware of the dangers, and we want our parents obviously on board with that. Now we're going to transition to respectful behavior, and it's the same vision here of what we're doing. This is what we're here for. We're committed to providing a safe learning environment in which all students and staff feel respected. And let's focus on some of the things with respect that we go over. First and foremost, you're here to learn. As my mom used to tell me growing up, your job is to be a student right now. And that's what it is in middle school. Your job is to be a student. So when you're showing that you're serious about your job, you are here to learn, you're ready to learn, you come prepared with your Chromebook charged, with your homework done, with your materials ready to go. And that's showing seriousness of purpose. You're getting to class on time and you're ready to work. That shows that you are here to learn and you're serious about taking advantage of your educational opportunities. When you are serious about your opportunities, you conduct yourself and carry yourself in a way that demonstrates and conveys respect to others. That includes, very specifically, the language that you use has to be appropriate for school. It should be academic and professional. If we talk about, we're not just preparing students for success academically, but success in life beyond school and in any workplace, in any academic setting. Certainly using profane language is not going to be helpful in helping you further your career or your goals. So we want to instill in students now that when we're in the hallways, when we're in the cafeterias, especially those less structured settings, that our language should always be respectful and reflecting our character to others. Phone use, and I'm going to click through a couple of things. Earbuds, AirPods, and social media, they kind of get wrapped up into one little discussion here about having no room for that in the middle school. Like in middle school, we have enough drama. We have enough things going on with our adolescent age students. We don't need to contribute to that with texting, videos, pictures, not listening fully to what's going on around us by having an AirPod in. It's kind of a fashion statement right now in the last couple of years. But in addition to being an accessory, it also is an obstacle to listening clearly to what's going on around you and being aware of your situation. Social media only detracts from what's happening in an academic setting. It's not adding to the academic setting. It's certainly something that can be a distraction to students. It can cause problems, and we don't need it going on during the school day. So our advice is twofold. One, that the phone should be completely out of sight. Electronic devices, social media, earbuds, all of that stuff should be out of sight during the school day. Except for if needed. I know some parents, I'm a parent, I've got 5 of my own children. There's a lot going on. We need to communicate in what's happening after school. In cases where students need to communicate with their family members and need to get a text out or make a call, they are welcome to come down to the main office to do so. They can also do so in the guidance office and in the health office. One of the things we strongly encourage with our students is do not go to the bathroom to text your parents that you're not feeling well. We want you to go to the health office so that healthcare professionals are monitoring you, watching after you, and you can make that text or make that call down in the health office so that we make sure that you're safe. A lot of issues in middle school as far as behavior and disciplinary concerns stem from social media. And the less access that we have to electronic devices, the easier it is to control our impulses and make sure that we're not contributing to a negative school environment through social media. Attire. When we talk about attire, we're really in line with respect and going back to safety. That's really what our dress code is focused on. If you looked in the code of conduct, it's about making sure that you convey respect for who you are and our school community in the way that you dress every day. We don't want to see negative messaging, anything that has to do with things that wouldn't be appropriate for school. And we want to make sure that we're dressing that in a way that shows that we are respectful of our educational opportunity at Montgomery Middle School. That's the extent of the dress code. I've heard rumors about what's allowed, what's not allowed. You can look at the dress code yourself. In fact, I'll link it into the code of conduct into this post. There are no specifics there outside of safety concerns and being respectful to what's expected at school. And lastly, manners matter. It takes such little effort to say please and thank you and, oh, how are you, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so? I'm well, thank you. How are you? Those types of things are the things we're pushing with our students because it takes very little effort and it makes such a difference in the way you're received, in the impact that it has on the people around you. It makes your day, frankly. When people are polite and positive, it really has an impact on those that you're talking to. So I ask students to be mindful of that, making eye contact and doing their best to show those around them, their peers, as well as the staff members, that they care, that they're respectful, and that they're upholding our values throughout the day. So that is in all what we've been talking about as far as safety and respect in our classroom visits. Where I end this is that my hope is that every single student throughout the school has a trusted adult that they can depend on, they can go to, they can share things with. I hope that is the case at home as well as in the school building throughout the day because they spend a lot of time here. I offer myself, I am always available for students. They can stop me in the hallway, stop me in the cafeteria, they see me around. And as I know that's the case for every single adult that works here, whether it's teachers, staff members, the guidance counselors, social worker, school psychologists, the assistant principals. We get up every day, we come to school and work in a school because we want to help kids. So the bottom line for us is that students know that we're available as a resource. My hope is that because of that environment, we wouldn't need to use things like anonymous alerts. However, sometimes we just feel uncomfortable having a face-to-face conversation about something that's going on, and I understand that. So we talk about anonymous alerts being used in any way, shape, or form. If the values of the priority, the themes here of being safe and respectful, if they're not being upheld in any way, shape, or form, if there's inappropriate language, if there's inappropriate activity of any kind that violates our threshold of being safe, our standard of being safe and respectful throughout the school day, everybody in our school community has to abide by that. If that's not happening, and for whatever reason we don't feel safe and comfortable coming to a trusted adult in the building, we can use anonymous alerts as an avenue to report that kind of behavior. One of the things that I know students are concerned about sometimes is entering their contact information. However, I do encourage everybody, if you're submitting an anonymous report alert, please include your contact information. It goes to the app. It does not get shown to the person who receives it, which is me and the assistant principals. We do not get the contact information, so we can't figure out who it is that's reporting anything. However, sometimes we need more information, so we have to reply back to you. And if the contact information isn't included in the report, then that reply doesn't get relayed back to you, and we can't further our investigation of what was being reported. So we want to make sure, again, every student feels safe and comfortable and feels respected throughout our school day. And that goes for everybody in our school community. If that's not happening, I hope that you would give me a call, you'd email me, you'd stop me in the hallway, students, you'd stop me when you see me throughout the school day. And if that is not something you feel comfortable doing, then we have another outlet for you to report any type of incident or behavior that would not meet those expectations. I thank you for taking the time to go through this presentation. I thank you for taking the time to review it if you've already been through it before. This is important for us as a school community because it sets the tone and it sets the culture of the building throughout the remainder of the year and beyond. When we are safe and respectful, we are upholding the values that we expect from our stakeholders, from our school community, and we're making Monterey-Woodbury Middle School the best place it can possibly be to come and learn and take advantage of all the opportunities, academic and extracurricular, that we have to offer, and we want you to make the most of it. So thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions or concerns about anything here or anything in general, please reach out to me, let me know, and I'll include my email and contact information, of course, in this video. As always, I'm here to help. and I'm happy to do so. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you in the fourth marking period. Take care, folks.